It's always great to see everyone. Thank you for tuning in today to yourself. It's day 6 and we're going in. We're going into self. Okay. All right. So I'm showing that my stream is strong. If one of the moderators can confirm that they are experiencing that same connection on the other side, we can go ahead and get started.
All right. Just got the notification
Yep. I have seen a notification here.
and we're
And
on.
give me a quick second. I see the stream is live. I'm waiting on confirmation of video. Hmm. Sean, can you confirm that your screen is black?
I can see a image.
Okay. All right. So I'm going to go ahead and roll with it. We're going to go ahead and, if you can confirm audio, we'll get started.
Sounds great. Let's
Okay,
go.
great. All right. It's working. Okay. So I'm going to turn off my interface here. Let me go ahead and get everyone lined up. And today is a very powerful balancing session that we're going to have. Okay. I'll line up the tribe here. And that is it. All right. We're looking good. Wholeness and balance vibrations, everyone. Yeah, I gotta end up going through all of that. It's interesting because every morning when that happens, it's like a test for me. Like, okay, can you hold the vibration and maintain yourself while you figure that out? So I'm glad that I was able to accomplish that, and it wasn't too much to deal with today. Wow, yesterday was yesterday. Yesterday, the song is like goodbye yesterday. It was great clearing out a lot of that energy. Actually, for the last 48 hours, because we did want to give it some time. Maybe you threw away some stuff. Maybe you got rid of some things, but truly what you did was transmuted it. If you still haven't done that, you got like a 3-day window after the full moons, new moons, where the energy is still present. Maybe time to go into the closet and like look at anything that you haven't worn in a year. Okay. And if it's like saying, yes, I'm ready to be released, depending upon how you feel about your stuff, I would release it. You may get some clothing to some family members, get the sheath around them. You may want to throw your shoes away. You really don't want anybody walking in your shoes unless they almost brand new. So, don't be too forthcoming with giving those away. And really, get in tune with what's happening now, because now we have to hold the balance and we have to bring the balance. It's interesting because this is definitely one of those opportunities in time and one of those opportunities in this existence to really see what you're made out of. Very few can test you. Like, think about where we're at now, right? We're like super exalted. So if somebody says something like, hey, you need to do this, it's better that it be a monologue and they're not talking directly to you. Because if they're talking directly to you, be like, man, I got this. Who are you talking to, man? That's what you maybe need to do. Of course, anyone who's learning, though, they're always getting those instructions and they're like, yeah, appreciate it. Thank you. What else? Let me know your greatest secret in life and what you've discovered. Like, I be drilling them. Like, when I get somebody around that, that like got a lot of knowledge and wisdom, I just start crystallizing it for them. Like, and what about this? And I like going in on that with people who have skills like chemists and people who are like, they got some kind of deep skill that they've had to study 88, not 8 or 9 years, 10 years for. What does the name of this medication actually mean? I like hit up some of these doctors sometime. They're like, oh yeah, it took me 8 years to get my doctorate. And then it's like, okay, so this word right here on the back of this medication, like, can you break this word down? What does Izine mean? What does all this mean? It's like, I never thought of it that way. I was like, oh man, let's go a little bit deeper. So in the space and in the time that we're in right now, it's Wednesday. And for those who have followed Enealogy thus far, and cosmic energy, you know that this vibrates to the number 5. And in this time, it is definitely an opportunity for us to bring things into balance because according to the Ma'at and numerics, it says that this is the alchemical number. This is the number that corresponds to some known as Hermes, Mercury, and it's just an energy coming across that says, I'm moving fast. I got a lot of knowledge and wisdom. I know everything about everything, really. Like everything, I originated it. Like all the languages and stuff, they were all codes. They were all algorithms first. I knew the meaning to the algorithms. And I'm not really trying to get stuck in all of this. Like I get the whole grounding thing. I got a light cable behind me and I keep twining and moving and I don't get stuck. Okay, that's the energy of today. And because of that, that means that you really have to make sure that you're yin and with your yang, that if you're taking in a lot of anything, that you counterbalance that with another. So in this case, if you are taking in a lot of data and information, then you have to make sure that you're balancing that out with spiritual growth. And you really do sometimes need to grab the clock. I know we'd love to do things naturally, but some need to gain a certain level of discipline through awareness and be like, okay, so I basically binged watch all my favorite metaphysical teachers for the last 6 hours. Now I gotta go and spend at least 6 hours working with my motor skills, working with, doing something and that's physical to express who I am. And this kind of balance is so key right now because especially as you get lighter, because you're going to get progressively lighter, things are just going to get more and more beneficial for you, however that looks. It's funny because sometimes we think beneficial only means positive things. That's why it's mainly important for us to do the balancing. I had this thing, man, and it always worked. And I was using it since I was a young kid, before I found out anything about metaphysics. And it was just something that I caught on to and how it worked, like on a, we talked about you don't need to learn how to breathe level. And it's always worked. And I can transmit it to you. It's about you have this ability to know where you're at on the scales. If you're, pedaling in what we'll just call the negatives, or you're dabbling in the positives. And you have this scale of yourself because, like, let's say you start cursing, you steal, all these different things you have going on, you're able to feel like, yeah, I don't, if I'm just talking to myself, I could tell you that that is not a great thing to do. And then over on this end, you'll know you're helping grandma, you're feeding, people that are in the hood with you, you're doing things. So where that sits on this other side of things. So I used to always have this running tally in my head of staying balanced because I noticed that when I became imbalanced, I started experiencing misfortunes. And it was like a hit. And once I got hit, because I was generally already moving so fast, it's like hitting a rocket. Now the rocket is careening and spinning all out of control, and you're trying to get your life back under control. And also it has this disorientating feel to it where you don't even know where to start. Like as a vehicle in the cosmos, if you get an impact, you start spiraling. I had talked to even old teachers, and they live by those principles. They said that in our ascent or descent into this space, depending on where you're coming from, there was also an impact with other things that are also in the space. And that is in your field where you exhibit your imbalance. And they work to figure out where that was and to also assist you in the things that were necessary to find balance in that part of yourself. At this state, you will know that part of yourself as you begin to work with these techniques and tools that we're talking about. Basic stuff like get light, throw some stuff away. If it's around, it's been there for a year, it's not just that, well, it's good stuff. Eventually I'll use it or whatever the case is. It's often that, well, that stuff also still holds a certain vibration. And it resonates to a time that you were in. And the more that you can get clearer anyway, the faster, more accurate that you can move. So it's not like this stuff is going anywhere. You're transmuting and it's going to go somewhere else, but it's still going to be there. But you're going to put it in its place. And we're just talking about just like going into the closet right now, let alone going into the closet of yourself and doing that same thing. And I started to realize personally that in this process, what happens is, and this is like, I have to do this all the time. I just did it yesterday, but it was something that my higher self demanded me to do when I came into that vast awakening. Because once I did it, and I had only the stuff there that I basically needed the most, always used, etc. It was so much more easier for me to access that stuff. I would go in the closet and boom, boom, and then I would grab my thing, and then I would get my crystal, and all that other stuff wouldn't be around needing to be transmuted. I'll just put it that way, making me heavy, right? Making me slow because I got to take so long to make a decision, right? And also the subconscious mind, when the subconscious mind spans across the field, it's going to pick up everything in the field. So it's picking up all the geometries. It's like when they watch how like a computer will visually see everything and heat map and track everything. Well, you got a better version of that. So you oftentimes don't see things that you often don't realize that you see things that you saw so fast you didn't realize that it already sent a message to your mind. It was like, check, that's what that is. Because it's like you could fan around the room, and if something's missing, you'd be like, wait, my ring is gone. Wait, something's gone. That's gone. And it's because it's already in a subconscious map. And every time you turn around, you may be going to look at a friend. Hey, what's up? And you turn back around, still in your view has checked. That's still there. That's still there. That's still there. So again, this is just a deeper dive of why when you hone into something, let's say you got this necklace that somebody gave you that you just know this needs to be transmuted, but it's gold and it's nice and all these kind of things that keep it in the space, keep it wanting to be remembered. Sometimes you may have to go take that to one of them alchemists and have them melt that down, even if you want to, shape, form, fashion, and something else. But that geometry that it is, that's also like taking your clothes, and there's some people who could take and cut up a bunch of clothes and then make new clothes with them. You got to transmute this stuff. This is the easiest way to put it. Now, one solemn note here, because at the 15 mark, we're going into a 15-minute meditation. So we keep this balance with everything. Now, here's the thing. If I just keep saying to you, the problem, and my solutions are weak, I need to really, really, as a person, even listening to someone like that, I need to discern how much that weighs on my consciousness, how much value that is on what side. Because if it has a high value for positivity, it stacks high on that area. If it has a high value for distortion or negativity, it stacks in those areas. And so remember right now, only thing that a lot of people can do is just talk. They're talking and talking and talking like this news thing. They're talking and talking and talking. They've given the solution up to somebody else to solve the solution. They just want to tell you every single day what is going wrong. Often, I look at even our meditations right now, and I'm like, man, because meditation is so powerful, and collective meditation even more powerful. I don't want to, go completely mego and say that it's these meditations that may have caused that $2 trillion stimulus to be passed, but I'm just saying these meditations are so powerful. It is a real solution. It's at least a first push. Now, with Secret Energy, we've been building stuff and doing things as a solution for a while. But the meditation answers directly to, this is what we can do right now and get as many people as involved as possible, right? As a solution, at least pushing it into the direction of a solution. Still hearing these spiritual teachers, it's the internet, it's the 5G, but they're telling you on the internet why you're listening to 5G. How would that process in the consciousness, whatever it is that they're saying is going to happen to you? That's how that will process in the subconscious. So we do need to be a little bit careful from these talking heads that have not entered no solution. They're sitting at the house. Some of them are even, token up. And it's like, and then telling and talking and talking and talking and talking. And it's like, but what is the solution? And if you subject your consciousness to that, you need to be aware of what you're doing. And then also you need to be aware how to balance that out. I'm not saying that just leave it entirely. There's everybody's at their different stations, but it's also good to Nudge your brothers and sisters, especially even ones that you may think are so much beyond where you are. They may be beyond where you are in certain spaces, and in other places, they may be just barely getting started. So this means that we need to hold a truthful consensus with balance. That's the Hermetic staff. That's the Caduceus with the pole up the center, which is the human body. That's the Ida, the Pingala, and the Sushumna. That tree of life, the branches and the middle trunk, that is all references to us, the human body, its creativity, its power, its need for nourishment, its growth. All of those different things are all encompassed within that. Our roots, our trunk. So right now, what it's time for us to do is to bring things in balance around us, really take command. If you find yourself just sitting there, you're in this repetitious mode, like the groove on your record, you turn the same person on, you watch this, you do this, and you find yourself in the groove, that means that you're hypnotized. That's hypnosis. If I can wake you up right now, I'm waking you up. Because hypnosis is when you listen to something over and over and over again, same song, same thing, you're being hypnotized. So the only way that you're going to get a different result is if you come out of that hypnosis, come out of that same pattern, get rid of the things that you keep seeing. You can work on all levels. I'm not saying that you got to go right now and learn the alchemical transmutations of the panacea and read all that. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying perform these alchemical measures inside of your house and inside of your temple, external house, internal temple, and clear out these things that you're seeing the same over and over and over and over again, and it's never changing. And you may not be able to go at the mini boss yet, or even the boss of it, meaning the being that is just around you all the time, that it's not changing, or whatever scenario, the house, whatever you got that's heavy. But go at the small things and you put a chink in its armor. And once you put a chink in its armor, once you start doing it and you feel how light you're getting and you feel how that's changing things, you're going to keep doing it. And then once you realize what it all is about, and that it's really all about you right now, it's really about you coming to the greatest level that you can be. You breathe in, you breathe out, so that you can really assist others. Because a lot of us are actually need to go in for a recharge. You know, it's been a lot of exhausting energy into supporting. So people can float for a minute. They even got a little floater today. Recharge, put yourself in balance, and get ready to come back into this, because the new moon is now done. Like, I'm pulling away. Hi, Florida Donzi. But anyway, we're going into full moon now. And so I always know wherever that lowest low was, because yesterday there were some low lows for me. I was like, whoa, this is interesting to watch. Yeah, I go through it too. Yeah, but I observe it. I'm an observer. So I was like, okay, this is an all-time low where that frequency is. That's interesting. That only gives me an idea of what the full moon is going to be like. And as we sail into it, you know, just being aware, as light as possible, as nimble as possible in that perfect geometry. And you're going to be able to, any impact that you take, this is the design. It kind of looks like that sword from Halo, the design. Any impact that you take only serves to actually increase the strength of the whole. Okay, that was the wisdom of the ancestors. They had geometry, which we can take on at any point in our consciousness, that the more impact it took, Mike just took impact, the stronger it became. It's in the ancient text, and they fired upon them. Yet, the more damage it seemed to mesh out, the more stronger the structure became, and thus we desist. Meaning that the enemy was bombarding us. And the sages and the wise men came up with designs. Wise men and women, elders, grandmother. I got to include everybody these days, or else you get called out. You didn't represent. So we designed that structure, and that structure is very powerful, is to realize that your power is transmutation. I already told people a long time ago, if you can do something with negative energy, you're going to be on point, because there's a lot of it here. Same rules apply. If you could do something with fertilizer, if you could grow some things, there's a lot of it here. So this is your time. This is your opportunity. So here we go. 15 minutes somewhere in there, something like that, maybe 14.53 seconds. And we're going to get into this meditation, and then we're going to go forward with our day, going into our space, giving the balance, waving the rod around, and making it happen. Wholeness. Here we go. As we take these moments to center into the space, to center into ourselves, we have our mission, and we have our energy, and we have ourselves. That's all that's needed. Wow. All right, family. So here's what we have an opportunity to do. We can now go forward from today and begin to clear out our space. We feel like we need to get lighter. We can change up the landscape a bit, move things around, change up the geometry. And now also we have the opportunity to do this with a real reason, because we need to get lighter as we go through this process together, this gestation. And it's going to deliver for us everything we want as long as we're seeing clearly. Remember yourself, and you've been dedicating so much of your time and your existence towards others. Take these moments to recharge so you can be able to use the energy that's coming here as we go into the full moon and all this stimulus now happening. We have to understand, of course, that, well, I think we may have lost the actual live connection. So I know we're still here on Zoom. But the stimulus, as you see, anytime that there's a lot of energy that is pushed into the world, you will also see that respond also in the current. We're going to go right into a full moon. So this would be a simple visualization here of realizing it's almost like a nuclear power exploding, but that force, because your ship is ahead of it, you're going to be able to catch to the event horizon or any of that. That even sounds interesting, getting pulled into the event horizon. Remember, this is about you right now. And this is about you putting yourself in the balanced condition that is necessary for you to be able to propel your projection. And then others, whatever they choose to do, if they get themselves together, if they catch that rope, then they'll be able to inhabit that projection with you. But you're responsible for building that projection. So you right now, this is an adept command. If you are ready to see who you truly are with all these reflections and all these things that you're going to witness in the reality, as far as just how spectacular it will get. And so that's your balance. Thank you so much. This is the time where we all come, and that will be definitely us in the meditation again.
Fullness.
Thank you, Brother Seven, for the mission impossible today.
No doubt. Thank you, sis. Wholeness.